taking a few minutes to chat with us. Just some of your takeaways after, I know, a tough loss. So what was the mood in the locker room after this one?
Well, that's obviously not good enough. Self-inflicted issues. And then just not generating any type of points in the second half. Stopping ourselves on drives and just coming up short.
Turnovers, I know, were something that you guys were focusing on, Coach. And as you alluded to, those did hurt you a little bit tonight.
They did. And one of them was also turnover on downs on a 4th and short, which is very, pretty common play for us that we should have, success on, but we didn't. So at the end of the day, there's no sense or reason to point a finger at anybody. We got to coach it better and we got to execute it better. And that's the bottom line. 4th and 1, we should get that. We're used to getting that. We didn't.
First half and the second half, Coach, just some of the differences that were between those two halves, kind of a tale of two halves for your offense in particular.
Well, we certainly got the momentum at the end of the first half and thought we could come out and continue that. The defense played the run excellent. Really took a huge step in defending the run. And overall, just got a lot of stops tonight. A lot of stops and got the ball back for the offense a bunch of times and more than enough times. Not good enough.
Coach, just finally for me, turning the page now and getting ready for your next game. How do you go about doing that over the next few days?
Just like that, and always looking in the mirror and understanding, assessing the film, and making sure, digging deep and all this stuff, because you don't just throw your hands up and say, darn it, we lost. You attack it. All the issues, all the errors. Some of them were repetitive, some of them were not. There were some advances, obviously, on defense. A lot of good stuff that showed up there, and some good stuff at the end of the first half offensively. But, turn the ball over. Again, that's on us. It's on us as coaches, on us as a team. Got a great opponent coming in next week and coming in, they played really good football. And bottom line is we got to get better. Nothing doesn't matter who the opponent is unless we get better. I think we all know that.
Thanks for spending a few minutes with us, Coach, and looking forward to bouncing back next week. Appreciate your time, sir.
Yes, sir.
We'll open it up to other members of the media now and start with James Crepia from the Oregonian.
Mario, the 3 stops and plus territory there in the fourth quarter, but 2 of them fumbles. You talked about you and Joe talking about trying to limit the game breakers, the game wreckers from wrecking the game. Dang forces both of those. I know it's hard to scheme around somebody, but was there ways that you could have either better avoided him or Cameron Good tonight because they came up with some big plays for them?
Well, he made big plays, but I don't think it's a matter of scheming him up so he didn't make the plays. We just got to do a better job coaching it so we could finish him better.
Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
Tyler's had a really good year, but the way that second half went, was there any kind of thought of just trying something with Anthony of maybe spark could happen, or was it just full confidence in Chuck the entire way?
We went what we thought was best for the team. That was the decision.
Paul Danzer, Portland Tribune.
Hey, Mario, CZ only got 6 carries. Is he still banged up, or was that game plan?
It was a little bit, but we felt he was good enough where he could play at a high level. So we're trying to get some other guys involved in the game as well, other guys that have practiced well and practice hard. But we feel he's more than healthy enough and close to 100%.
Eric Skopel, 247 Sports.
Were there things offensively, in retrospect, you have done maybe differently, Mario? I know the 2 fourth down, or I should say the 3rd and 4th down runs up the middle, as you'd like to see a little variation there, and obviously some tough fumbles there. But I mean, kind of what would you, in retrospect, of things you would have done differently, I guess? Well,
they're different runs. They're not the exact same run, even though some of the target areas, some of the aiming points are the same. They're different runs, different edges, different number counts on the front side and the back side. Some have sliders, some don't. But we're both very makeable. So, and you run what you game plan, and we game plan what we saw, and it was there. So, obviously, we got to coach it better and execute it better.
Kevin Wade, 247 Sports.
Coach, any update on Noah Sewell and then guys like Devin Williams, Drew Mathis, J.J. Greenfield, and Brian Addison?
Yeah, those guys were not available to play. today, and I think Noah just had a stinger tonight. So I don't know. I don't have all the medical information now post game.
James?
Mario, it definitely improved as the game went on, but penalties definitely hurt you guys early on. I think it was the most penalties you guys have had this season. Just not a matter of disputing calls or the like, but some of them obviously occurred. What was your take and assessment of just the penalties that took place tonight?
Can't have them, very costly. Kept 2 drives going, ended up resulting in points. So not good enough. Penalties. Assess when they were called, why they were called. Got to play cleaner football. Got to play more disciplined football, which means you got to coach more disciplined football. And we do a good job in practice. We have done a good job in practice. There are no little things. Little things are big things. They always end up being big things, and there were big things tonight, and it hurt us.
Aaron Fentress, the Oregonian.
Coach, I know you're not an excuse maker, but given the craziness of this season, given the youth you have, you lost 12 NFL guys, including the opt-outs. Aren't some of these mistakes and miscues and things that are going on to be expected to some degree?
I just think the moment we take on that approach, I think we're just giving in. I think we all know that you essentially lose 2 classes, right, of real good players when something like this happened with opt-outs, and then you have issues week to week. I just think that if we have chosen to play and we're keeping people safe, you got to roll with whatever happens that week. So, and I think it's important for our players to understand that we're not going to give in into anything regarding youth or not having enough time or anything else. I just don't think it's mentally the right thing to do for our guys. We've got to trust them, got to have confidence in them, prepare them as best we can, and then expect to do well.
Matt Preem.
Practice leading up to this game, did you get a sense that things could be so helter-skelter offensively for you, or is this just a really out-of-the-blue bad day?
Out of the blue. I knew we were going to play. We felt we were going to play good defense, felt that our fits, that our line of scrimmage play, striking blockers had improved drastically. Some of the things we've done from an alignment standpoint were going to help us, and it showed up. And we felt it would be a determining factor today. So,
Eric Scopel.
Mara, Tyler last week talked about how there was important lessons to learn from this one. I guess, how is he handling this outcome, and do you feel like there is something to learn from this? I mean, how do you, I guess, move on from this and maybe find a silver lining?
Well, I think you could always learn as long as you are willing to fight to the very end, right? And if you're watching your games and if you're not doing everything you possibly can to the very last second, then I think you have major problems. Those are issues. I see a team that's really trying. I see a coaching staff everyone's working their tails off, and we haven't done good enough the past 2 weeks with things that are fixable, but some did and some didn't get fixed. So I see a team that's working to get there, but that fully acknowledges that we've got work to do. Work that you've got to just front up and go and attack and get after, and really not make any excuses, guys. Just not, I get it. I know a lot of times press conferences have that, but in terms of pointing out youth and everything, I'm just not going to do it.
Tyson Alger, The Athletic.
This is just the type of defensive output that you guys have been waiting on for essentially this whole season. Just how hard is it for that group to play like that and just not be able to kind of get the reward for it at the end of the game?
I think it should be the opposite. I think it provides a hunger, a spark, knowing that, okay, we've improved, but we're certainly not to the point where we need to be or want to be yet either. I don't think there should be anyone should be content or satisfied, because at the end of the day, you still got to have one more point than the other side. And whether you win 3-2 or 65-64, you got to do it collectively. And
Max Torres, Scoop Duck.
Mario, one of the big points coming into this season has been replacing all those starters on the offensive line. Do you feel like you're getting any more clarity as far as that offensive line rotation goes through 5 games?
Well, those 6 guys are the guys that have deserved to play the most. I do think Dawson is right there. He's right on the edge. He's a good football player, you know. But those 7 guys, I would say, really have separated themselves from the pack.
James.
With so much, a much better result against the run, Mario, did you see anything? Did anybody individually stick out to you? Because there were a lot of new names in there on defense. Some out of necessity, some out of just getting more opportunities, and they came through with some plays defensively, whether it's the interior of the defensive line or linebacker. A lot of guys did make plays for you on the defensive side tonight.
Yeah, I was proud of Nick Weavy popping in there, playing linebacker. Proud of Isaac Slade coming back, getting his hand redone, retaped, going back in there. Christian Williams played well. Looks like he played well. I know Austin Fowler's had a tremendous couple of weeks. You can tell in everything he does. He's just he's in that mode. Yeah, same thing with me. So, but I'll have to watch film to see exactly who really stood out, who really did well.
Last question goes to Warren Williamson.
Mario, as someone who knows the offensive line as well as you do, your assessment of how they played tonight. Obviously, that Cal defense up front played really well tonight.
Well, the 4th and 1 sticks out, you know, and I know we had a holding call later that negated a big play down the field. We ended up executing on the rest of the drive, but certainly negated a big play at us down at the 2-yard line. I have to watch the film. You know, I think there's some good moments, and I think there's some other moments that you'd love to have back and finish. We got to see exactly how we can, you know, put ourselves in best leverage situations, advantage number situations. You know, sometimes, you know, when you read certain defenders and when you're playing the RPO game, sometimes split-second decisions that could put you in a tough spot or a good spot. Some of that showed up as well. So a little bit of everything, but I know that they're not happy. You know, I know that we got work to do.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time. Have a good trip home.
Thank you, guys.